Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. for our long-awaited NXT Over the Limit pay-per-view. Just a few moments ago, we took you backstage into the parking lot where a limo arrived, and El Guapo Diablo stepped out, followed by the ragtag group that accompanied him during that NXT Live event that we showed clips of at IWC last night. They are calling themselves La Revolución, and one of them here, Justin Gabriel, is in the ring. You can see even as they got out of the limo in the clip that we showed you from backstage, they are all wearing very similar outfits now. They seem to be represented by the Mexican flag. They seem to be taking their group identity very seriously. They are here in NXT, as El Guapo Diablo himself explained, to stop Stephanie McMahon from poor booking decisions, whatever that means, because I don't think she books poorly at all. And I'm not only saying that because she has a representative appointed to follow me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making sure I don't say negative things about her. It's just that I truly think she's the best general manager ever. But either way, the Revolución, La Revolución, has promised that if tonight's events are booked improperly, something bad will happen. Change will occur. Huge flying crossbody from Curtis Axel to Justin Gabriel. And well, as much as I want to say otherwise, it seems there has been a booking change already. There have been 3, actually. This opening match was originally supposed to be a tag team match, as we mentioned on our news site on Reddit, between Justin Gabriel and the Great Khali taking on Bray Wyatt and Curtis Axel. Khali and Wyatt have been removed. It is now a one-fall match between Axel and Justin Gabriel, and Axel is taking full advantage of that, getting a 2 count there on a pinfall after a huge clothesline. But Gabriel kicks out, and Gabriel up against the ropes now is drop-kicked out of the ring by Curtis Axel. We will also have a change to one of our 2 title matches this evening. It was originally a cage match between Kofi Kingston and the Internet Champion Brodus for that Internet Championship. It has now been made a Hell in a Cell match out of nowhere. And our final change will take place between the Rausch and Heath Slater. That has gone from a tables match to an Extreme Rules match, but is still one-on-one. And I don't know, with more booking. Oh, there's the swinging neckbreaker from Curtis Axel. There could be more booking changes as we move along, but Justin Gabriel does indeed kick out. He now gets a side headlock on Curtis Axel, and Gabriel just being taken to it by Curtis Axel in this match. Oh, nice arm drag from Justin Gabriel. And now he's off the ropes, misses the elbow drop, but he gets Curtis Axel twisting the arm around on the way up. There's a knee to the gut from Axel, though. And now again goes Gabriel twisting that arm around. And from behind, he's got him in a crucifix roll-up here, but he can't even get the count from the ref before Axel kicks out. You got to think that Gabriel would have been doing a lot better in this match had he had the size, strength, and just sheer power of the Great Khali as he was originally promised. And now Axel, he's got the fisherman locked in. That's the perfect plex into a pinfall. And I can't see the count, but that is your match, ladies and gentlemen. Curtis Axel wins the opening match against Justin Gabriel of La Revolución. And I guess you can blame that on the fact that the advantage of the tag team match was taken away. Gabriel was thrown in by himself against the very athletic Curtis Axel, and Axel made short work of him to open up our pay-per-view from the Verizon Center. So despite the fact that Stephanie McMahon is obviously booking this night as best she can, to the absolute best of her abilities, it looks like it's Stephanie McMahon 1, La Revolución 0, to start everything off here. But we're going to be coming right back. We will have another member of La Revolución in a match of his own. We'll have Santino Marella taking on Erick Rowan of the Wyatt family in another probably very unfair yet entertaining to watch match. You keep booking the way you do, Stephanie McMahon. We'll be right back. And we are back from the Verizon Center. Huge back body drop, and that is probably the way this match is going to go for Santino Marella. This is our second match of our NXT Over the Limit pay-per-view. We're in front of 9,000 plus fans here at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C., the phone booth, as it's colloquially called by the local fans. Oh, and Santino with a big-time suplex to Erick Rowan there. Did not see that coming. This is our second match here, second match featuring a member of La Revolución, the new ragtag group formed on an NXT live event earlier this week to combat Stephanie McMahon's booking practices. They threaten serious changes to NXT if the booking at this particular event, this Over the Limit pay-per-view, is not up to par. So far, they're probably not going to think it is, as the first match was changed putting Justin Gabriel at a severe disadvantage against Curtis Axel, and he lost pretty quickly. Now Rowan against Santino Marella, this remained booked as originally planned because Santino Marella is at a huge disadvantage, but he is fighting the good fight here. Snapmare into an elbow drop, run the outside of the ring here, down on the floor of the arena. The ref is counting away, and Rowan is being taken to task here. There's a bulldog from Santino Marella right near the announcer's table, and Santino runs at him with a clothesline. Rowan just had that one big body drop, but aside from that, not getting anything going. Now Santino rolling him up to the ring, throws him up, and Santino going to jog around and enter the ring on his own. You can see that the members of La Revolución have, Erick Rowan getting in the ref's face there. And now we've got a collar and elbow tie-up between these two in the center of the ring, and Santino comes out on top. And there's an elbow to the back right there, and Santino goes in for another side headlock, but Erick Rowan stomps on his knee and slams him face first down to the mat. And now sizing him up from behind, big punch to the jaw while he's down from Erick Rowan. You can see La Revolución have all started wearing uniforms of the same color. They seem to be emulating the colors of the Mexican flag. They are taking this very seriously, and I'm interested to see what happens tonight. It seems that the booking has already changed, not in their favor, so I want to see if they actually live up to their word, if things do change here, considering that Zack Ryder seemed to be a Revolución sympathizer on IWC when we showed you what happened at that NXT live show earlier this week. I'm interested to see if they make an impact during the title match later on. Oh, there's a big belly-to-belly suplex from Rowan to Santino, and now he's just stomping on the Milan Miracle while he's down. And working from behind is Erick Rowan, but Santino out with an elbow into a jawbreaker down to one knee there. Santino goes for the pin, but Rowan kicks out before the ref even gets set to count it. He rolls away and now twists the arm of Santino around, trying to gain some leverage here. A further twist to that arm, and then one more rolls him over, and a leg drop across the arm, using all that built-up torque and tension to his advantage. And now another big back body drop from Erick Rowan to Santino Marella. There's the power that's probably going to win this match for the member of the Wyatt family. Into a side headlock there, but Santino into a rolling back elbow there. Nice. Stomp to the gut while he's down, and then a running clothesline down to the mat takes Rowan out. Santino up on his feet. He rolls Rowan over, and he's got him from behind. We've got that camel clutch applied. Another member of the Iron Sheik Club here in the WWE Universe is Santino Marella. And now he picks Rowan up, and there's a big clothesline right there, but Rowan going to roll out of the ring. The fans definitely want to see Santino pull away the win here, but Rowan just needs to get a couple of good moves together. Santino with a nice drop toe hold sends the big man down. Now lifting him up, and he's groggy, but now Rowan reverses and throws Santino up into the ring. And a big club right across the neck, and a big boot to the side of the head sends Santino rolling back into the ring. And now Rowan going to lift him up, and Santino's groggy. Rowan runs at him with a huge meat hook clothesline there. And now Erick Rowan picks Santino up, and he's got him up, and he's got him in a bear hug, and Santino's got absolutely nowhere to go. The match could end here, ladies and gentlemen, but Erick Rowan does end up letting Santino down. And now Erick Rowan is unbelievably fired up here, but Santino up quickly into a side headlock, and he's got Rowan for that reverse leg sweep there. And one more time, Rowan going to roll out of the ring. He's got Santino in a side headlock, but Santino into another reverse elbow there, into an elbow drop on the floor of the arena. We're again on the outside. The ref is again trying to count, but these guys don't seem to care at all. Oh, a big-time back body drop from Erick Rowan to Santino Marella, and now he's got him. And he's got him up, and there's a huge choke slam on the outside, and Santino appears to be dead on the outside of the ring here on the floor of the arena. Erick Rowan in the ring. He's going to let himself win by count out if possible, but there's Santino. Santino is up, and Rowan runs at him for another big-time belly-to-belly suplex, and now Rowan really seems to be coming back in this match. That choke slam sending Santino into the floor of the arena. Oh, but Santino, he punches him in the face, and he pulls out the Cobra, and the colors match the current uniform. And there's Erick Rowan laid out by a Cobra strike. Erick Rowan is dazed and dead on the mat. We've got a pin coming in. 1, 2, 3. Santino Marella with a big win over Erick Rowan of the Wyatt family. The Cobra just did it. We thought the choke slam from Rowan was enough to put it away, but Santino, with that added bit of energy that comes along with joining a group fighting for what they believe is a good cause, gets a very big win over a very big man here in our second match at Over the Limit. And you've got to think that Stephanie McMahon is not happy about this. It seems that she is actively stacking the deck against La Revolución in the early going tonight. And so far, they've taken one of two matches. Justin Gabriel, though, probably still unconscious somewhere backstage after that perfect plex from Curtis Axel. It's the end of our second match. We're going to come right back for match number 3 in just a second, guys. This show is only going to get better. Stay where you are. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our first of 2 title matches on this pay-per-view card at NXT Over the Limit. We are in the Hell in the Cell structure. Brodus Clay defending his Internet Championship against the NXT debut of Kofi Kingston, and this crowd wants absolutely no part of Kofi Kingston. Brodus Clay is the man down here. He's one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions with his partner, Sweet Tea Tensai and the Tons of Funk. He's also the Internet Champion after winning it against Zack Ryder in a surprise match scheduled at last month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, the match that many people believe started off this whole Stephanie McMahon can't book speech that's turned into La Revolución here in NXT. Either way, the crowd wants Brodus Clay to win this match. Kofi Kingston is wrestling his first match for NXT since being demoted after squaring off against Edge on the SmackDown brand last month and losing because he got in his own head and was pissed off that Edge was happier with Caitlyn. He wanted no part of their lovey-dovey fairy tale despite the fact that they wanted to include him in a stable. There's Brodus Clay with a big bulldog to Kofi Kingston. And Clay, you got to think, he hasn't had to defend his title yet, but this Internet Championship is a lot more important than the NXT Championship in the next few weeks. You've got to get through one more pay-per-view, which is the Money in the Bank for the major brand. Raw and SmackDown will have their shared Money in the Bank pay-per-view next month. After that, you're at SummerSlam, and the holder of the Internet Championship gets his first cash-in opportunity. That is going to be a huge event here. Brodus Clay just needs to defend it here, defend it at next month's Royal Rumble here in the NXT, if he's even made to. And if he just goes into that weekend holding the NXT Internet Championship, he will have a chance to cash it in and move on up to one of the 2 major rosters, Raw or SmackDown. There's another STO. We're on the floor of the arena inside of the cell, and there's Clay with Kofi up over his shoulder. And there's a big-time power slam from Brodus Clay to Kofi Kingston, and Brodus is fired up. He's had a pretty good month as the Internet Champion, and he is just widely recognized as the man here in NXT. And there's a big suplex from Brodus Clay to Kofi Kingston. And now Clay going to pick Kofi up by the shoulders here. And Kofi is staggered. Now Brodus Clay going to throw him over the length of the cage up into the other corner. And he kicks him in the gut. And again, but that time Kofi elbows the knee away. And there's a kick to the gut of Brodus. And now Kofi blocks a punch. But Brodus into a gauge of the eye. A gouge of the eyes. A gauge. An eye gauge. And there's one from Kofi Kingston. They're just brawling on the outside along the outer limits of the cell here. And there's Kofi with a big drop kick, and he sends Brodus right back into the ring. And now Kofi rolls up to him, and Brodus gets out of the way of Kofi's attack. And now Brodus from the apron, Kofi pulls him down and smacks his head into the apron there. Nice inventive maneuver from Kofi Kingston, who again throws Brodus up onto the apron, head hanging over. And that time there's an elbow to the nose of Brodus Clay from Kofi Kingston. Kofi is the first of the 4 men who were demoted from Raw and SmackDown at the end of last month to make his debut in NXT. We still haven't seen anything from Antonio Cesaro, from Ric Flair, or from Alberto Del Rio, the recently former World Heavyweight Champion of the SmackDown brand. There's Kofi with a nice slap to Brodus, sending him down. We haven't seen anything from either of them. We know that Ric Flair will be a part of the King of Trios tournament next month, but Kofi here in a surprise match for the Internet Championship that no one really saw coming. If he wins, you got to think these fans are going to be pretty upset with that outcome, not having had to prove it or earn it or anything. And now Brodus again going to the outside. And Kofi follows him, and Brodus just going to lay into him with a series of punches, but there's Kofi with an elbow. And now Brodus looking again with Kofi up on his shoulder. Another big power slam. And Kofi does go down. And now Brodus looking underneath the ring. Doesn't have anything to work with there. He's going to take Kofi, but no, Kofi throws him across into the cell. And Kofi follows. And he's going to send him into the steel stairs, shin first. But now Brodus with a rake to the eyes again of Kofi. And another series of punches ends in an overhand club and a big rake to the eyes. And now Brodus picking up those steel stairs. He's going to get vicious in this match. Runs at Kofi, hits him with the stairs. And again. And he's just vicious with the giant block of steel on the outside is Brodus Clay. And one more rake to the eyes. And now Brodus is going to send Kofi across through the other steel stairs. And now he picks them up. And Brodus is just off the chain here, trying to defend his title. The crowd loves this monster being unleashed here. They love it. He's frustrated that an unworthy opponent has been given an opportunity and that they've been forced to fight in a cell. Although it is a better advantage for Brodus than a steel cage match. You remember the NXT immediately after Extreme Rules earlier this month I should say, Brodus was forced to fight Santino Marella in a cage. It was a non-title match, but Brodus has a pretty obvious disadvantage in cage matches. At least in a Hell in a Cell, it's easy to still win by pinfall or submission. In a cage, when you have a much smaller opponent, it's harder to catch them when they're on their way out of the ring. And now we're brawling on the outside again. But there's Brodus Clay, and he's got Kofi into another big-time suplex there. And Brodus is just all over this match. And now he's going to pick Kofi up and throw him into that ring post. And now he's going to set Kofi's head up against the post. What has he got going on here? Brodus Clay backs off. And there's a big boot to the side of the head of Kofi Kingston. Kofi looks like he's been knocked unconscious on the outside of the ring here inside this cell. And right about now, if I'm Kofi Kingston, I'm trying to run away. But when you're locked inside the cell, there's nowhere to go. And now Brodus Clay, he's picking Kofi up. And Kofi Kingston kicks Brodus in the gut. He's got Brodus up over his shoulder. There's a suplex through the side of the cage. And they're spilled to the outside. They're out by the announcer's table now. And Brodus Clay is feeling it just like Kofi was after that. Brodus drops a drop kick there. And now Kofi going up on Brodus' shoulder. Another big time power slam. We're on the floor of the arena, unpadded area next to the announcer's table. And Kofi blocks a big clothesline from Brodus. And now from behind, there's a crucifix right next to the announcer's table. And this brawl is going out of control, ladies and gentlemen. Kofi picking Brodus up by the back of the arm. Steps in from behind. And a reverse Russian leg sweep right down face first into the floor. The crowd booing Kofi vociferously here. And now Brodus is thrown into the cell. But now Kofi's got him up with a suplex into the outside of the cage. And these two are just killing each other over this very valuable Internet Championship. And now there's another modified STO from Brodus Clay to Kofi Kingston. And now Brodus lifts him up. But Kofi with an elbow to the small of the back of Brodus Clay. And now there's another reverse Russian leg sweep from Kofi Kingston, sending Brodus face first into the steel cage here. That chain link cell along the outside. And Kofi feeling his head. Brodus Clay barely breathing down on the floor now. But now Brodus is up. He's got another rake to the eyes of Kofi. And he sends him over into the ring post again. And now Kofi with a back elbow to the face, as it looked like Brodus is trying to replicate that. There's the Trouble in Paradise from Kofi Kingston. And Brodus Clay twitching down on the floor of the arena here. And now Brodus whipped into the ring by Kofi Kingston. And there's a big elbow to the face by Kofi. After that Trouble in Paradise, Brodus could be without it. Oh, Brodus running away, and Kofi misses the drop kick completely. Brodus rolls him over. But now Kofi reversing with a punch to the gut. And there's a big bulldog from Brodus Clay. And now Clay again rolling Kofi over. And now Clay off the ropes, runs back. There's the big body splash. And Kofi down on the ring. Clay for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Brodus Clay successfully defends his Internet Championship against Kofi Kingston. It looked like Kofi might have been coming back with a Trouble in Paradise there, but he couldn't get Brodus back into the ring. Brodus just destroyed Kofi with the big boot on the ring post outside. They found their way out of the cell after Kofi suplexed Brodus through, and this was a very fun match to see, despite the fact that the fan base, did not want Kofi Kingston to be a part of this match without having first had to prove it that he belonged here. Brodus fought a good match against him, and you got to give it up for both guys here. They put it all out on the line there. It got a little bit brawly there for a second with our steel ring stairs, and I'm just happy that there don't appear to be any serious injuries after this match. There is the winning pinfall from your continued double champion, both Internet and Tag Team, Brodus Clay, the man down here at NXT. Seems like it's going to take a lot to dethrone him, and he's just got to get through one more pay-per-view as Internet Champion, and he's going to the show for a test. It's going to be great, guys. We'll be back for our 4th match. Mark Henry versus Big John Studd, the one you've been waiting for. And here we are before the match, ladies and gentlemen. The ref signaling for the bell, but Big John Studd inadvertently knocks the ref out. The ref is down after Big John Studd laid him out. This is a one-fall match here, ladies and gentlemen. All rules apply. And Big John Studd making his way out of the ring here. Mark Henry accompanied by his manager, Adeceve. There she is on the outside. And Studd into the ring with his sledgehammer. And he hits Mark Henry in the gut with it. And throws it down to the ring. The ref never saw any part of it. The ref sees the hammer in the ring, but saw nobody get hit by it. And now Studd going on a tear against Mark Henry. Big John Studd has had one hell of a 2-month run here in NXT, and I emphasize the word hell, as it's been a personal hell for the mountain of a man, Big John Studd. He lost his NXT championship to The Miz at Extreme Rules last month, and immediately afterward, he was stalked by Mark Henry, who felt he should have been in that NXT championship match in place of The Miz. There's a big-time body slam from Big John Studd to Mark Henry. Throughout the course of this month, Big John Studd consulted with Adeceve for management to help him overcome Henry and help him get back to a point where he won the NXT championship. But Big John Studd confused her management for feelings of love and partnership and romantic relationship status. Adeceve got weirded out, justifiably so. She left him as a manager and began managing his rival Mark Henry in matches against him, further enraging Big John Studd, resulting in an eventual legal stipulation by Adeceve, a restraining order placed against him by Mark Henry's manager. It is, of course, waived in the scenario where Adeceve willingly enters an environment where Big John Studd is, as the case tonight, as she is at ringside in a match against him, essentially. Oh, nice reverse DDT from Mark Henry there. There will be no repercussions for Big John Studd being here right now, but if he were to do something to Adeceve during this match, all of that could be different. Another big scooping body slam from Big John Studd. They have broken the ring twice this month between these two behemoths of men, both from superplexes. Big John Studd knocking Mark Henry unconscious earlier in the month. Mark Henry doing the same thing to Studd last week in the match that showed Henry fired up and fighting to defend the honor of his manager, Adeceve. And you know she's out here to see the destruction of Big John Studd firsthand in their pay-per-view match here. But Studd, with that sledgehammer shot while the ref was unconscious, seems to have an early advantage over Mark Henry. This match is going to be all strength with a gouge to the eyes from Studd there. And now working from behind, rakes the back of Henry. A big overhand club, and Henry's now in the turnbuckle. And Studd with lefts into a right hand. And there's a stomp to the chest. Henry tries to roll out, but there's a huge arm drag from Big John Studd, just throwing Mark Henry around again as if he's not 400 plus pounds. And now Studd has Henry's hand behind him, and a big knockout blow to the face. And Henry, there's my favorite animation, Henry falls over, and now Big John Studd picking him up by the shoulder strap, and he's got him up, and there's the Big John Studd bear hug, and the ref is looking to make sure Mark Henry's not tapping, but Adeceve is up on the ring apron, and she distracts the ref anyway, and now Big John Studd runs at her and tries to hit her with an elbow, the ref taking him away from the apron there. That was close right there. Adeceve giving him a mouthful there. He knows he lays a finger on her. He's going to jail, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Henry using the distraction for pin 1. Oof, close there. Big John Studd almost losing. But there's another arm drag from Studd to Mark Henry, and a kick to the face, and another kick to the face there with Henry down, just toying with him, stomps to the chest. And now, side headlock from Big John Studd. Henry reverses, knocking him down with a modified STO. Henry for another pinfall here, but Big John Studd almost immediately kicks out. We've got a collar and elbow tie-up. The collective strength here, too much to bear. Henry out on top. Gets Big John Studd up for his own scooping body slam. And Mark Henry again going for the pin. Big John Studd again kicking out quickly. There is Big John Studd twisting around Mark Henry's arm. And he's got him and just throws him across the ring. And now he's saluting the crowd. The two-fist salute there. The crowd wants no part of this crazy, dumb ox of a man. They want Mark Henry. They want Adeceve. They want this new business partnership to win. Big John Studd just needs to learn this when enough is enough in terms of the ladies. There's another collar and elbow tie-up between the two. Mark Henry comes out on top and twists the arm around, drops him on the knee, elbow first. Mark Henry going for another pin. Big John Studd kicking out again. Henry just wants to end this early, but he's not actually putting together any kind of real offense here. He's afraid if he stays in the ring with Studd for too long, the match is just going to go quickly out of his favor. And again, going for an early pin. Big John Studd now throwing Mark Henry to the apron and now runs at him. But Mark Henry just gets off the apron. And now Studd again. Oh, there's a punch and another one. And now Mark Henry falls to the floor of the arena. And Studd slowly makes his way out. And now working from behind on Henry. That's a big-time back suplex on the floor. Did you see the way Mark Henry's head hit the floor there? Unbelievable. 9,100 fans are screaming for Mark Henry to get up and get away from this attack. Now Big John Studd slamming his knee into the floor. And now Studd, he's got him up. Down over one knee for a rib breaker. And now it's just Big John Studd and Adeceve. And Adeceve grabs him by the hair and throws him up onto the ring apron. Big John Studd not going to be happy about that. Henry back up into the ring. But now Big John Studd has him. He's got a double underhook applied. And he's got him up. And there's a big suplex from Big John Studd to Mark Henry. Unbelievable strength. Look at the replay there, ladies and gentlemen. Studd going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Big John Studd beats Mark Henry at Over the Limit. This month of heartbreak and hell seems like it just got back in his favor. You gotta, if you're Adeceve, I'm sorry that Mark Henry is down in the ring. You gotta run away right now. Big John Studd is gonna be coming for you, especially when you grab him by the hair and throw him back up into the ring. Unbelievable match here, ladies and gentlemen. Big strength match. Here is that rib breaker on the outside. And look at Adeceve. Look at this. Are we going to show you the replay? No. She initiates contact, and she throws him in the ring. She is taking advantage of her restraining order against Big John Studd. You got to wonder if he's got a lawyer, he's going to say something about that. And now Studd leaving the ring here with Mark Henry dead behind him. But of course he changes his mind. He's going to go back and finish the job. This is a month of frustration coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go backstage for a second here. We've got Paul Heyman and Heath Slater meeting up right before Slater's match against the Rausch. Oh, Paul Heyman wants to help Heath Slater. He's offering his services as a manager, as he's done for 3MB already. And welcome back to the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially past the halfway point in our show, and this is a grudge match here between the rookie, the Rausch, and Heath Slater. They've gone back and forth all month long. The Rausch looking at it as a growth opportunity. Big super kick from the Rausch to Heath Slater, and a stomp to the chest, and a big boot right off the ropes there. The Rausch all energy here. He was just looking at this as a growth opportunity all month long, kind of learning his craft, while Heath Slater was looking for a punching bag to take his personal frustrations out on, challenging the Rausch to the smash. Good reverse power slam there from the Rausch, and the Rausch is coming out right on top. We just saw backstage right before this Paul Heyman trying to get Heath Slater to let him help. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal have already accepted Heyman as the manager of the three-man band, especially heading into the King of Trios tournament. But Heath Slater wants no part of it, thinking that he can restore order in the group by himself. He can regain control of his own accord. He's got an Extreme Rules match against the Rausch here, and there's the Rausch behind. Big-time runaround German suplex sends Heath Slater down to the mat. This is going to be a big match for Rausch. He wants to win here. This is technically his NXT pay-per-view debut. He was set to debut at last month's Over the Limit pay-per-view, but as we saw, that did not occur. And now wait, Rausch and Heath Slater both up on the top rope here, and a big superplex early in the match, and Heath Slater is down. Rausch going for a pin. 1, 2. Oh, already a 2 count. The Rausch is on fire. The Rausch, a pretty mild-mannered guy so far, but Heath Slater got on his last nerve this past week on IWC, and we had this match booked, scheduled, solid. The Rausch now very aggressive in this match. not dealing with the bullying tactics of Heath Slater anymore. But Rausch, as I mentioned, making his debut here in an NXT pay-per-view. Big drop kick from Heath Slater. He was scheduled to tag with Santino Marella last month against a tag team also consisting, conveniently enough, of El Guapo Diablo. That is the match that was canceled to make room for the surprise Internet Championship defense that Zack Ryder lost to Brodus Clay, allowing Brodus Clay to become the Internet Champion that we see today. El Guapo Diablo also angry that his first pay-per-view match was taken away, now the leader of La Revolución against Stephanie McMahon's bad booking practices, so they presume. It's interesting to see how it all comes together sometimes, isn't it, guys? There's a big European uppercut from the Rausch to Heath Slater, and now Rausch going up top, and a big leg drop misses. Heath Slater rolls out of the way, and the impact rattles Rausch up into his chest. And now Rausch from the outside, crossbody also misses. Two big gambled maneuvers. And we saw Rausch lose a match to Heath Slater earlier this month because he focused too much on high-flying maneuvers. But Rausch trying to regain composure here. Slater working from behind in the ring, got one arm over, and a big twisting back suplex, sending the Rausch down to the mat. And now Slater backs off with a kick to the small of the back, and the Rausch rolls over onto his gut. Slater picks him up by the face, and now he's got him set. And a big-time inverted neck breaker that I don't know the name of from Heath Slater to the Rausch. The Rausch is seeing little birdies in the ring, but he goes to the outside and hits a big flying crossbody, and both men are taken down by it. Slater down on the outside, picking the Rausch up. Rausch is staggered, but he's got Slater up by the head, elbow to the face, and now he climbs up on the apron, and a big-time guillotine leg drop from the Rausch. And now Slater is hurting inside the ring. Rausch is reaching under the ring, and he comes up with a trash can, but Slater kicks it away from him, and it flies away. But now Rausch has Slater up, and a back fist, and another back fist, and he's going to get him up for that Brockengespenst onto the floor of the arena from the Rausch to Heath Slater. And now the Rausch is all kinds of fired up, and the crowd is behind the wiry little rookie. And he's again behind, going under the ring with that trash can right behind him. And Slater misses the spinning heel kick, and Rausch gives him one of his own. Great reversal there. And now Rausch with that trash can misses a strike. Slater, bulldog, onto the trash can. Unbelievable fire in this match right now. The Rausch is down outside of the ring. Slater working on an armbar here, just trying to torque it out on the Rausch. And now he picks him up by the face again. Rausch is indeed groggy. And there's a big punch to the face from Heath Slater. Lines it up. Hurts his own hand just a bit, delivering that blow. And now Slater twisting the arm of the Rausch behind. And he's got another armbar applied here. And this time he's going to hold it until the Rausch either breaks it or taps out. But on the outside, it's not going to count here. Pins and submissions need to happen inside. And Rausch does get out of it. And Slater with a big-time flapjack into the crowd barricade. And a punch to the side of the head of the Rausch, slamming him down again into the barricade there. Slater in control of this match since they've been on the outside. And now he's got Rausch up on his shoulders, but Rausch with an elbow to the face. Goes for a suplex here, but Slater gets out of that into a neck breaker. Great sequence there. And now picks him up by the arm. That trash can was just flattened on the impact of that. And now Slater goes for him. And the Rausch does get out of the way. And he runs for another crossbody and sends Slater down to the floor of the arena. And that time the Rausch does not miss. And he's got a knee to the chest of Heath Slater down on the outside. And now he's got Slater up. And he's got him locked in that reverse. He's got him up for the vertebreaker, the V2. Oh, on the back of his head on the floor of the arena. And now Rausch has Slater. He's going to throw him up into the ring, and another elbow to the face there, and once again he's up on the apron, and another guillotine leg drop from the Rausch. And now he's going to pick Slater up by the back of his pants, and he's got a back fist and a second, and we're going to see another Brockengespenst to the bloody Heath Slater, and there it is. Rausch going to go for the pin in this Extreme Rules match. 1, 2. Oh, Slater kicks out at 2 there, and Rausch runs at him, and there's a huge belly-to-belly suplex to Heath Slater. And the Rausch is fired up yet again, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to send Slater over into the turnbuckle, it looks like. And knocks him down with a clothesline. And a second clothesline. Off the ropes goes the Rausch. But he misses an enziguri there. And Slater with the schoolboy roll-up. But Rausch kicks out at 1. And now Slater from behind, reverse DDT. And there is the Rausch laid out, dead. 2. Oh, kicks out right at the 2 count, ladies and gentlemen. And now Slater going to throw him into the turnbuckle. Slater trying to mount a comeback, but he can't see through the blood. There's a drop kick into the chest of the Rausch. Rausch gets out of the way. The kick to the chest there. And now we've got a collar and elbow and the Rausch from behind. He's got Slater. And he's got him over the knee. And then a toss there. The Cobra clutch toss. And he's got a kick to the gut. And he sends himself off the ropes. And another big boot from the Rausch to Heath Slater. And now he's got it from behind. And the camel clutch is applied. And there are no rope breaks in this match, ladies and gentlemen. It's Extreme Rules. The Iron Sheik would be proud if the Rausch can win this match via camel clutch here. Slater has absolutely nowhere to go. He's flailing like a fish in deep water. And the Rausch is just cinching in tighter and tighter and tighter. And Slater's either going to pass out or he's going to have to tap out really soon here. But now the Rausch looks like he's losing his grip. He looks like he's losing his grip pretty fast. They're both pretty sweaty in the ring right now. It's got to be hard to hold on to his wrist long enough to keep this in. And he does lose his grip, but at quite the expense of pain to Heath Slater. And now the Rausch again. He's going to have Slater up for that V2. Right on the back of his head, ladies and gentlemen. And now the Rausch going in for one more grapple, but Slater runs around. There's a float over neck breaker to the Rausch. And he's going for the pin here. 1, 2. Oh, Rausch again kicks out just at 2. And Slater has the Rausch up. And there's that high impact DDT from Heath Slater. This could be the match, ladies and gentlemen. This could be it right here. Heath Slater going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Heath Slater gets the win over the Rausch. It looked like it was going to be his match after that camel clutch. But Heath Slater got out of the way of what looked like it was going to be another back fist into a Brockengespenst. And he gets the win over the rookie without Paul Heyman's help, mind you. Apparently, Heath Slater does not need the help of Paul Heyman that the rest of the three-man band feels like they do need. And he gets the win over the Rausch in a pay-per-view scenario here at Over the Limit. Big high-impact match in our 5th match of the evening. Great match from both competitors, and Slater just gutted it out to the end on that one. We're going to see it. There is the setup. The Rausch ran at him, and Slater just put his head right into that high-impact DDT. The Rausch goes down. The Rausch stays out. And now here we are after the match. Heath Slater bleeding profusely from his forehead, but he doesn't care. He won. He won in front of this Washington, D.C. crowd. He feels vindicated after a month of feeling down on his luck. He put the rookie down. He put him down at a pay-per-view. He made good on his promise, and the Rausch has got to feel a little bit embarrassed by this. We'll be right back for match number 6, guys. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is our 6th match of the evening. This is going to be a battle of two men known for the varying levels of gyration of their hips during periods of celebration. We've got Fandango taking on Ravishing Rick Rude in a one-fall match right before our main event. This isn't a complete throwaway match, as Rick Rude is one of the 3 members of Team NXT. We've seen the other 2 in our last 2 matches, Big John Studd and the Rausch. Of course, I'm talking about Team NXT of the King of Trios tournament next month. So we want to see how Rude fares. Studd got the win. The Rausch just lost to Heath Slater. And now Fandango throwing Rick Rude into the corner, but Rude sidesteps it. Rude's had a pretty good month down here since debuting right after Extreme Rules in NXT. He's won some pretty good matches against the likes of Erick, Rowan, and others here on NXT. He's been a lot of fun to watch, and Fandango hasn't done all that much himself. So this is just kind of a battle for card position here, and I'm not sure why it gets booked as highly as it does toward the end of the night. But either way, the crowd's going to have some fun with it. They don't necessarily like Fandango, but they of course love his entrance, and they're really behind Rick Rude down here. There's that jumping shoulder breaker from Rude, and an elbow drop to the small of the back of Fandango, and now Rude rolls him over. Just that 1 count though, and Fandango does kick out. A little more going to have to happen here. Rude runs at him, float over, twisting neck breaker there. Beautiful. And I feel much better after getting a drink of water. My voice has definitely gotten hoarse as the commentating on this evening has progressed. There's a big scoop body slam from Rick Rude to Fandango and just stomping on him while he's down. Fandango pushes him off, though, and now Rude working from behind as Fandango approaches. Snapmare from the dancing superstar, the younger Fandango. Now working from behind is Fandango. And a big-time twisting back suplex to Rick Rude sends him down to the mat. Twisting the arm around now. Rude can't quite get away from this, and now Fandango throws him into the corner. And taking him off, he's going to throw him across the ring into the other turnbuckle. Runs at him, but Fandango gets out of the way of the flying forearm. And now gets him up for a back suplex there. Rude now back on the offensive. There's an elbow drop to the back of Fandango. and he picks him up by the face here. And now Rude's got him up over one shoulder. We saw this against Erick Rowan. There's that backbreaker, sending Fandango down to the ring. And now he's got him twisted around. And then here are the superior gyrations of Rick Rude into a neck breaker. And Fandango is down. That's Rick Rude's finisher. 1, 2, 3. And that's your match, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that's why they put it right before the main event. Kind of stop you from having a heart attack before we head into our second title match. But Rick Rude gets a nice big win over Fandango at the Over the Limit pay-per-view. Not too much to this match. Just a bit of domination from the much more veteran superstar here. Fandango's got a lot to learn, and Rick Rude is happy to just still be on a win streak here. Maybe by next month he gets put up into the title contention race down here on NXT. But either way, he gets the win, and we're going to come right back for our main event. Zack Ryder, The Miz, NXT Championship on the line. Everything going into this match. All kinds of drama. Don't go away. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, main event time from the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. All 9,100 fans here ecstatic for this match. They want Zack Ryder to beat the crap out of The Miz and take this NXT Championship that The Miz won at Extreme Rules last month. We know what's been going on here. Zack Ryder making allegations that The Miz is just a spy employed by Stephanie McMahon to root out people that don't like the way that she books things on the card. Zack Ryder has sympathized with the group, referring to themselves as La Revolución, led by El Guapo Diablo. We've seen Justin Gabriel and Santino Marella so far in La Revolución's garb this evening. We haven't seen Layla, we haven't seen Sin Cara, we haven't seen El Guapo Diablo himself. And Zack Ryder is coming out in his own gear. This seems to mean he's not a member of the group. We're not sure what to make of their sort of joint conversation against Stephanie McMahon earlier this week at an NXT live event. But either way, there is a lot going into this match right now. And you got to know that Stephanie McMahon is somewhere backstage watching as The Miz deposits Zack Ryder outside of the ring, letting the ref make his count to end this match via count out. But Ryder does get back up in the ring. Miz celebrating. Ryder runs at him. Big float over swinging neck breaker there. And now it's Zack Ryder who's pumped up, and the crowd here in DC is going to get behind him off of that. Miz, though, gets him with an elbow to the back of the neck and now has him in a side headlock. And he's going to send him over the ring into the turnbuckle, running at him. Big time clothesline. We know that from The Miz. Legs outside of the ring there. Hits the jaw of Ryder. And now from behind with Ryder down, he's got him in a reverse double underhook, and he's got that lock cinched in. But he kicks him down and breaks it. He doesn't want to end the match that way. It's too early. Too early for that. Kick to the gut. And the swinging leg DDT from The Miz. Ryder goes face first into the mat. And now Miz rolls him over. And working from behind, punches to the side of the head. Miz is fired up. He doesn't like having his character called into question here. And there's a drop kick to the knee of Zack Ryder, sending him down. And now The Miz dragging him over. We've got a pin already, one. But The Miz does indeed kick out at one. And now Miz from behind. Skull-crushing finale, and Zack Ryder hurting already. 1, 2, 3. That's your match. The Miz with a very easy win over Zack Ryder in the main event. All that build-up goes for naught as Zack Ryder just can't stack up with the title on the line. You have to think that he just got caught up in the moment. I don't know. He looked hurt when he came into the ring. I don't know if it's the month that they've had together. The Miz took care of him on the outside. And just that drop kick to the knee there looked like it hit with really, really bad impact. Busts him open with the skull-crushing finale. Zack Ryder just totally not ready for this match. The Miz does win. The Miz does retain his NXT championship here at Over the Limit. And he is very, very happy about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be heading out of here. We'll see you tomorrow night for Raw at its normal time. If you like this video, please leave a big like on it, despite the fact that all the bad guys won tonight. And if you're new here and you like the way I present my universe mode, please consider leaving a subscription. It means you get my videos as soon as they go into your sub box. Otherwise, have a great day, guys. I'm going to go mourn the loss of Zack Ryder. Bye-bye. And as we go off the air, the retained champion, The Miz, continues to gloat. But wait, here comes La Revolución. El Guapo Diablo is Sin Cara. They're coming down to stomp out The Miz, and The Miz trying to protest. But now Ryder is up with them, and they're all screaming at him. They're screaming, change is here.